Hello, welcome to the Gezus Podcast. My name's Jesus. I'm your personal Jesus. Sorry about that. Yeah, I didn't see I was screwing around. So, so what happened today, huh? Look, this is crazy. I know what you're thinking. I'm like, these guys are revolutionary. No, they're not. They're just angry and they're scared. And that's what I believe. And I'm going to, for the first time, no, I'm just going to leave it like this. Screw it. Spent a whole time online, but I decided not to do it. But I think what I need before I can get started, before I can get going, before I can talk about today, I need a drink. So, I'm just going to reach behind me here. I'm going to get something from my infinity bottle. This is the whiskey infinity bottle. It's just a bunch of bourbon and whiskey that I've poured into this bottle when there's not much left worth saving. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to give my dad a call. I'm going to give my father a call. Yummy, yummy. I didn't do any ASMR on that, but that's okay. I'm going to give my dad a call. First of all, I'm gonna take off these headphones because I can't hear myself. I'm gonna give my dad a call, and we're gonna talk about what's happening today. We're gonna talk about what he thinks about it. Now, he's a conservative. This is my opinion on it. My opinion is these people are upset. These people feel lied to. These people feel that they're can't take that right now. I have to put on Do Not Disturb. Alright. So let me call my dad. These people are scared. So, calling El Padre. Dad. I'm going to put it on speakerphone. Hopefully he'll pick up. He might not pick up. I might have to call my mom to tell my dad to pick up the phone.
Hello?
Hey, what are you doing?
Just laying on the computer. How you feeling?
I feel fine. I feel good.
Did you get any word back from your last test?
Yes, they've last three have been positive.
You're still positive?
I'm still positive.
Jesus Christ, then.
I don't know what to tell you, Dad.
They haven't said anything? Have you called the doctor or anything?
No, but they just keep telling me to go in and test. I mean, like, I don't have any lung problems. I'm not wheezing. I'm not out of breath, as you can tell. But that's not the reason why I'm calling. I'm calling to ask you what you think about the storming of the Capitol today.
What about it?
What's your opinion on it? What do you like? Do you think that they're justified in storming the Capitol? Do you think the police should have been on top of this, so something like this should have never happened? What?
Well, personally, I don't think they shouldn't have done that.
They should not have done that.
No, they should not do that. What bothers me is the double standard.
Uh-huh.
For example, when if you recall, that when the Black Lives Matter were out there, quote unquote, rioting and attacking white people, at no time did you see the Capitol Police go in there and use any type of physical force. Today, they use physical force. Now, why is that?
I don't know. I didn't see them. All I saw was pushing. I didn't see any like.
I know, and if you take a close look at the footage that I saw, your mother is how those white people, all white people over there rioting, just said, well, shit, I'm waiting for them to start burning the city of Washington, D.C., but you always can't be lucky.
Do you think they should burn down D.C., Dad?
But the thing of it is, it was a loop. In other words, they found a couple of little pushing and skirmishes. Of course, I didn't see the whole thing.
Right.
But I saw it, and I see, well, it's the same event going over. It's like taking one incident and running it through a loop to make it appear that there's ongoing scuffle. It was one individual and one Capitol Police officer that was involved in that. Now, then you have the D.C. black mayor. What does she come out? And she's going to be law and order. She never did that when the Black Lives Matter were out there rioting. Why didn't she come out and say that when they were rioting? That's one of the things that upsets me more than anything else, is you need to have consistent policies. And when you have one standard for one group of people and another standard for another group of people, then that's where you begin to have problems. So, she comes out and she says she will not tolerate it. When they were rioting and beating up white people in D.C., did she come out and say that? She was totally silent. In fact, encouraging those type of events to come on. I just find it, once again, that is the problem. You have people that have one standard for one group of people and another standard for another group of people.
And we should all be judged on the same standard, is what you're saying.
Rioting is rioting. It doesn't make any difference who's doing it. It is unlawful.
Like in Portland, where they've taken over like however many city blocks.
What's that?
Like in Portland, where they've taken over all those city blocks.
Well, she didn't say anything when the blacks were rioting.
I don't think the blacks were rioting.
There was white and black people rioting, like Antifa and all that. But she didn't come out and say anything. In fact, she went out and encouraged it. She went and had them paint Black Lives Matter on the boulevard. Now, what does that tell you?
That Black Lives Matter. They did that here in Los Angeles too.
What's that?
They did that in Los Angeles too, right on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, is they have different standards for different groups. And that's where it leads to problems.
So do you think the rioters today were justified in storming the building?
What's that?
So were the rioters justified in storming the building?
In D.C. today?
Yeah.
No, they weren't justified in that, no.
But you're saying they're applying different codes of conduct.
I think there's two separate standards of conduct that we have politicians engaging in. That is where it leads to problems.
Do you think that they're trying to divide and conquer? Do you think they want us this way?
Well, if you take a look at the history of anarchy and those people who want to overthrow existing governments, what do? You set one standard for one group of people and another standard for another. So you put the two groups and you have them fighting against each other. And that's what's going on. So, no, I think they should never have done that. What I was be more upset with is the fact that you have one standard for when the Black Lives Matter groups, protests were out there burning, attacking white people, and the D.C. mayor not saying one word, period. And then today she comes out there and all of a sudden she's law and order. You got to be consistent. You got to have it one way for one group of people and another way for another group of people.
I agree.
So that's what the problem is. So, no.
So you don't think that President Trump had the election stolen from him?
What's that?
So you don't think President Trump had the election stolen from him?
Well, I think it's like anything else, son. When you don't look for, if there is somebody saying there is, I think there's something wrong here, but you don't go and take a look at it or investigate it, then once again you're going to have problems.
Do you think it's wrong that 80% of the voting machines in America are owned by 3 private equity firms?
What's that?
I said, do you think it's wrong for 80% of all voting machines in America to be owned by 3 private equity firms?
Well, there's, like anything else in life, there's nothing wrong with it unless it becomes a situation to where somebody is manipulating it. That's where you begin to have problems.
Well, isn't it possible they could manipulate if they own the vast majority of the machines?
Well, that's why you need a paper trail. A lot of those machines don't have paper trails. So if you were out there and you wanted to recount the votes to make sure that the tally was correct, well, how do you go back and check that? If you don't have the paper trail, then there's nothing to check other than the computer itself. And most people are, those companies are not going to have you allow you to go and manipulate or play around with their computers. So
right.
It's a situation to where, we know that it can happen. I mean, when you have people that are able to break into our most highly sensitive computers in D.C., what makes you think those same type of people or that same type of knowledge cannot be used for illegitimate purpose? So we know that. So that's why you need to have a situation to where when you want to count the votes, you need to have a paper trail. That's why, the founding fathers and so forth wanted people to vote in person, so there was no chance of, manipulating it. And over the years, we've had voter fraud. And to have people say that there's no voter fraud is beyond my comprehension. It's just like in when Nixon was running for president against Kennedy. And all Kennedy needed was the state of Illinois to win. He won that state. And that was in and around Chicago, what brought him through. Nixon conceded. Unfortunately, later on, history has shown that it was a fraudulent election. You had people who had voted in that election who have been dead. And big city corruption is norm for large cities. Why do you think that there is very little change in the big city in terms of political power?
I don't know, because I really don't like our current mayor.
Well, that's because they're able to manipulate it. I would venture to say, if you go back, and even you have politicians, Nadler come out there and was saying that, he understands how things like that, he says he's seen a few things like that. In other words, there's voter fraud, and as long as it's for my political party, there's no problem. So that's my take on it. They should never have done what they did. You should never engage in civil disobedience unless it's absolutely necessary. It wasn't necessary to do that. Those people probably embarrassed Trump more than anything else.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yet at the same time, the double standards. One incident, they call it a riot, but if you are a particular other political persuasion, it's a protest. Difference.
So they should all be riots, or they should all be protests?
Well, according to the Democrats, there is a difference between it. If you're burning and looting and beating up white people, then that's a peaceful protest. But if you're a group of white people and you're protesting and not setting fires and you're not looting, then that's a riot.
I'll have to remember that in the future.
Yeah.
All right, Dad. I'm going to let you go.
But you're feeling okay, son?
Yeah, I feel fine.
Well, I just don't understand why you keep getting...
I don't know. I park in I have to drive all the way to San Dimas to, swab myself.
Well, when do you take your next test?
Tomorrow. I have to go every day until I test negative.
How many tests have you had so far?
3. Today was number 4.
Well, I don't understand it myself. There must be something wrong with those tests.
God, I hope not.
Well, let's hope that you don't have any. You have a negative one tomorrow.
Yeah, let's hope. Well, I tested today, so we'll find out. I'll find out this evening.
You had it today?
Yeah, I had it today. So when I find out today, then I'll know. I could be negative for all I know.
Okay. Well, let me know when you test negative.
Okay, I'll let you know.
All right.
All right. All right. Bye. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking my dad's racist. You're thinking my dad... and I would call you a liar. I would call you wrong, and I would say you do not know this man. He raised 2 Catholic sons with a Latina woman. I was taught to embrace my culture, but society told me that I needed to, get away from it. So society told me that, not my father. society. Because I found it to be very advantageous to be as light-skinned as I am with my name. Opened up a lot of diversity doors for me, and I took advantage of them all and didn't know what to do with. I was like a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't know what to do when I got one, and I chased plenty of cars, and I got plenty of nowhere. Hold on, my cat needs me. Here you go, Bubbles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, I'm fine. Everything's okay. I knocked some stuff down in case you couldn't hear. So that's my dad, and if you don't like what he had to say, you can go fuck yourself. It's a Jesus Podcast.